Long before any Europeans set foot on this continent, America was already home to millions of people. We call them Native Americans, and their story begins over 15,000 years ago. They crossed a land bridge from Asia during the Ice Age, spreading across 2 continents and creating hundreds of distinct cultures, languages, and ways of life. From the cliff dwellings of the Southwest to the longhouses of the Northeast, from the great mounds of the Mississippi to the totem poles of the Pacific Northwest. These were sophisticated societies with complex governments, trade networks spanning thousands of miles, and deep spiritual connections to the land. In 1492, everything changed when Christopher Columbus, sailing for Spain, arrived in the Caribbean. He thought he'd reached the Indies, but he'd found a new world. Soon, European powers established colonies along the eastern coast. Jamestown in 1607, Plymouth in 1620, and eventually 13 English colonies. For over 150 years these colonies grew and prospered, but they also developed their own identity, separate from their European rulers. When Britain imposed new taxes without colonial representation in Parliament, the colonists rebelled. "No taxation without representation" became their rallying cry. The American Revolution began in 1775 with the shot heard round the world at Lexington and Concord. On July 4, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, proclaiming that all men are created equal and have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. After 8 years of war, with crucial help from France, the Americans achieved victory. The United States of America was born. The new nation faced the challenge of creating a government. The Constitution, written in 1787, established the framework that still governs America today. The young nation began expanding westward. Pioneers in covered wagons crossed the continent, driven by dreams of land and opportunity. This expansion came at a terrible cost to Native Americans, who were forced from their ancestral lands onto reservations in what became known as the Trail of Tears. As the nation grew, it became increasingly divided over slavery. The agricultural South depended on enslaved labor, while the industrial North opposed the expansion of slavery. This division led to the Civil War in 1861. For 4 bloody years, Americans fought Americans in the deadliest conflict in the nation's history. The Union victory in 1865 preserved the nation and ended slavery, but the scars of war would take generations to heal. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery, but the struggle for true equality would continue for another century and beyond. The late 1800s brought rapid industrialization. Factories, railroads, and new inventions like the telephone and electric light transformed American life. Millions of immigrants arrived seeking the American dream, providing the workforce for this industrial boom while creating a more diverse society. America emerged as a world power, fighting in World War I and helping to defeat Germany and its allies. World War II began for America with the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. The nation mobilized completely, with millions serving in the military and millions more supporting the war effort at home. Victory in 1945 left America as the world's dominant superpower, but also brought new responsibilities and challenges. The post-war boom brought prosperity to many Americans, who moved to new suburban communities and enjoyed unprecedented economic growth. The Civil Rights Movement, led by heroes like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., fought to fulfill America's promise of equality for all citizens. America reached for the stars, landing on the moon in 1969 and leading the world in technological innovation. The computer revolution and the internet transformed how Americans work, communicate, and live, connecting the nation to a global community. Today, America continues to evolve, facing new challenges while striving to live up to its founding ideals of freedom, equality, and opportunity for all.